Welcome to the World Junior Curling Championships 2013, coming to you live from the Ice Cube Curling Center here in Sochi, Russia. My name is Sander Erlog, and I'm joined by the lovely Sara Karlsson.
Great to be joining you once again, Sander.
Our feature game today is in the women's draw. Denmark is playing Japan. They're both undefeated at 2 wins, so we're hoping for quite the interesting matchup here. We'll take a look at the scoreboard, or the standings. Scotland at 3 wins. Czechs at 2 wins. Denmark at 2 wins. Maybe that's a bit of a surprise. Denmark qualifying for the World Juniors through the qualification event in Europe.
Yeah, really confident, the Danish team here. They're definitely playing aggressive and making a lot of shots, so it's going to be interesting to finally see them play here.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten to watch much of either Denmark or Japan. I looked a few times over at the Danish team, and it looks like their skip is just on fire, making all the shots, just throwing the button, doubles, skinny doubles everywhere. So we'll see if that's true. That's what I've heard so far this week. We'll take a look at the rest of the teams here. Norway alone with 3 losses. Sweden at 2 losses. Is that kind of a surprise, Sarah?
Yes, I would say that is a surprise. They had such a close game against the Czech Republic and really just let that slip out of their hands. And the same again against USA. That was a close game too. So they're still looking to get their first win. Canada as well on 2 losses.
Switzerland also 2 losses, although I guess they have their spot secure for next year World Juniors anyway, because it's held in Flims, same place it was held in 2010. Russia has picked up 1 win, 2 losses, so they'll be looking to improve as well, but still many games to go. We'll take a look at the team lineup very shortly. For Denmark, lead is Charlotte Clemensen, second Isabella Clemensen, third Janne Gundry, and skip Stephanie Riesdahl. Alternate player Julie Hug, and team coach Helena Black-Laverson. And Stephanie apparently is the one making all the shots. That's what I've heard so far, so it'll be interesting to see. But picking up 2 wins in Ireland, Canada and Switzerland, that'd be nice to see them playing out.
And we take a look at Team Japan. Mao Ishigaki playing lead, Risa Ujihara at second, Rina Ida playing third, and this team is skipped by Sayaka Yoshimura. Natsuko Ishiyama is the alternate, and Hirofumi Kobayashi team coach.
That, of course, was a national anthem of Canada. Oh, Canada. We're honouring teams here. And Ice Cube Curling Centre, we'll look at the stone colours. Denmark with last stone, Stephanie Riesdahl really close to the pin on the tee draw. Japan playing yellow.
Having talked to the teams a little bit earlier, Sander, what kind of strategy do you expect for the game?
Well, I was talking to the Danish girls, and they just told me that they had a wee look at Japan, and it felt like they were playing a bit defensive, so they were looking to really come out strong with some attacking play, and that's what I really want to see, so that'll be interesting.
Yes, that will be interesting. Team coach for Japan, though, said that he was really happy with the girls so far, and they have won 2. He said that the team was absolutely perfect right now, so Japanese girls also very confident.
Yeah, as mentioned, undefeated, these teams. But one of them will have to lose this game, apparently. Just some practice slides before we kick off here. And because Denmark has the last on advantage, it'll be Japan to start off this game. Other games in the arena today. Obviously, we mentioned Canada, they're playing Russia, home favourites. The Czech Republic, they're playing Switzerland, and Sweden is playing Scotland.
Lots of interesting games going on here today. So here is lead for Japan getting this game started, Mao Ishigaki, and they are going to draw into the house.
Would you call that a defensive call?
Yes, that definitely is a defensive call, and you'll see her not really getting all the curl that she wants there, but a lot of the teams start off this way, just kind of with open ends to get a good feeling for the ice.
Yeah, that's like we're going to see Denmark throw the corner guard here, just pumping with confidence. As mentioned, just qualified for World Juniors through the qualification event in Europe. Grabbed that one spot here. This is Charlotte Clemenson. Looking to put some stones in play early on. Their ambition is actually to win it and win the whole thing. And I'm not sure if there's ever been a team that's come up for the B group or the qualification event and then to win the Worlds.
No, that would be a huge deal. And that's a nice corner guard as well, really close to the rings. Yeah. Why do teams put up the corner guard?
I just want to kind of split the house, allows more room for scoring, and always keep that middle open. So you'll be sure to have a chance to score a one if if your game plan fails.
So Japan once again here want to draw into the rings, like to sit in front of their own, and also in front of the tee line. Very nice their sits too, but with the corner guard already in play, if Denmark can get a good roll here, it would probably sit shot stone and behind the guard. Rolls the other way instead, and actually all the way out there with a little help from Japanese skip.
What's the call here, Sarah?
They are drawing the wing. Japan would like to sit two here after Risa Ujihara's stone. What would you like to see them do, Sander?
Well, if they have a defensive approach in mind, you might just peel the corner guard here. It's weird to draw the wing like this. Denmark would have a chance to come around the corner guard to my second shot, and now this one's going all the way through, so Denmark will do just that. Seemed like a weird call to me, so it'll be interesting to see how this Japanese team calls the game. That's often been the case. We have some Asian teams certainly not been playing curling for so long. Their technique usually very good, and they're good shot makers. Just sometimes just slip up on the tactical side.
here's the come around. Really close to the guard. Good call there by Denmark skip Nielsen. Doesn't sit for shot stone. So Japanese girls are going to try and eliminate it from scoring by freezing onto it. Everyone up to sweep this now. They definitely need to sit 2 if they want to be able to put any sort of pressure on Denmark.
Certainly a team effort. It's just going to nibble the rings, I think.
So Denmark once again going to try and stick another one in here. They really are going aggressive now.
Yeah, maybe just want to get in there before Japan can. Might have just caught a fresh path here. It was looking really short. It's just going to creep over the hog line.
Yeah, we said that earlier. Both teams do get to practice on the ice before the game, but normally there's a lot of throws from the wing to the center, so then during the game when they start drawing to the side, sometimes they find new paths and they will be a little bit slower.
Yeah, that's why I think many teams choose to play very defensive to start off with, just to kind of get the feel of the ice. But I like coming out aggressive. It's going to be the same for both teams, really.
Definitely. And here's the first shot for the Japanese third, Rina Ida. She'll come around all this and sit in front of the tee line, so very nice. Japan currently sitting 2.
And now Denmark's just going to peel away that center guard. Looking wide so far. Might have an option though. Will it take the yellow? Double maybe. There we go. That's a fine. Good result. Well, good option B.
Definitely makes it look better for Denmark, even though that yellow sticks on the red. It's now sitting back 8. No real danger. The only bad thing is that the guard is still up there, so chance for Rina Ida to play the exact same shot again.
Well, the good thing for Denmark is the guard's pretty long, so it'll be easy to come around. The bad thing is that out-turn draw is kind of blocked off by the corner guard, so you're going to have to make sure to keep this left side open. Another team sweep from Japan, brings it into the 8-foot to sit 2.
Denmark could try and draw one in here. They're going to peel off the guard once again.
Yeah, I mean, if you peel off this guard, Japan's either just going to put up a better one or come around themselves.
Gets the job done this time. Sayaka Yoshimura deciding on the tap here. Doesn't look like she's going to get a very good angle.
No, you risk just catching this one too thin. Just going to split them. You might set up a double. I think it'd be easier to just come around this yellow. Even if you're quarter buried, it's fine. Stephanie won't be able to play the hit and roll. So I think the draw is the best option, but we're going to play the tap up here.
Yeah, when you do tap this, also your shot stone won't be as good because you have to tap it at an angle, so you might just end up missing the forefoot, giving Denmark an easier draw.
Well, it's not too bad there, actually. Didn't play it with a lot of weight there, so didn't really split the L's.
And also Denmark would now like to nose this. That would mean they get the double and they will sit for a second shot, but still in front of the yellow one at the back of the house.
Yeah, well, the good thing is you're pretty much going to force Japan to play a hit on your own red, and then you have the whole 8-foot to draw.
And if they ever roll out, you will have a hit for 2.
That's true.
Stephanie Riesdahl with her first stone of the first end.
Just going to be a bit high there on line. It's going to jam it. Japan lies 2. So maybe not totally on fire on this first end.
Japan going for the tap here to make their shot stone better.
Yeah, it's certainly going to make things harder for Stephanie to score. Just got to be a bit careful. Don't want to set up an easy treble.
This means they decided they would rather have Denmark hitting with their last than drawing, because in that case they could have just put up a guard.
I think they're going to try and come around it. Instead, just didn't have the line. I'm going to come to the back of the 8. And I think Stephanie is going to be looking at the hit here on the front one.
Could she even make all 3 of them go and sit for 2?
Yeah, I think so, Sarah. I think pretty close to nose, maybe just a hair high here. Yeah, might just get action on both those yellows at the back and spin the first one out and score 2 that way.
So triple attempt for Denmark here. Last stone of the first end, a shot to score 2.
It's going to catch it too thin, roll, and that's going to be a steal of 2 for Japan.
Yep, Denmark went in really offensive here in the first end, and it ended up not being too good for them.
Well, they had a good chance. Just Stephanie just not pulling off those last shots. Even after missing her first one, had a chance to score 2. Although a difficult shot, really should have been able to pick up 1 here.
You always want to make sure that you at least score 1. So once again, Japan is going to start. And Mao Ishigaki is once again going to put this in the rings, since they did take 2 in the first end, steal of 2. There's no need for Japan to put up the center guard right now. They know that Denmark is definitely going to be aggressive again. Better both weight-wise and line-wise. This end.
Yep, found a better spot, but Denmark's going to put up the corner guard. I think sometimes when you play these really defensive teams, it's smart to be just overly aggressive and force them to play a game they're not used to.
Yeah, all teams definitely want to play to their own strengths. So while you do that, if you can also get your opponents to play a game they're not overly comfortable with, then should definitely benefit you. Since their shot stone is quite good now, I think this will just be a center guard.
No, she called the top 4, top 8. So another defensive call, really. Just not wanting any guards in play.
Would really love to get a roll behind the corner here. Most of all, it's really important to stick around.
It's not too bad there. Sits on top of the yellow. Yeah, so looking to play defensive, obviously. I think you just rip the corner guard if you want to keep things open. So we're going to try and remove the red one. The problem with this shot is, yeah, you remove all your yellows and you left the corner guard in play.
Yeah, so important come around for Denmark now. Be really nice for them if they could score 2 right back. And one way of doing that certainly is drawing behind the corner guard. Really good line with this now. Can the sweepers drag it all the way to get it buried?
Not quite.
Some really hard work. That still peeks out a little bit. So we're going to see softer weight from Japan. Gonna try and hit this and roll. Still, if you're going to the roll, for the roll though, it's very important to make sure you don't miss this wide. If you were to take the corner guard instead, that would still be an acceptable result. Just touches it and it'll just spill out the rings.
Yeah, just enough there. And Denmark will just look for the same draw. She knows the weight now and the line, so just basically need to come a little bit deeper to get the curl that she needs in behind. So the sweepers had to drag that all the way, so didn't quite get the finish, and this one will sit completely open. Hits it on the nose. Which means that the roll is now available for Denmark. That will leave both reds quite close together if Japan wants to go for the double. So, not quite making a roll, but it's going to be a bit more difficult for Japan now to make the hit and stick. They need to roll towards the other side to be in the rings. So if they can't quite make that, Denmark can just play the come around again without any worry. But she'll make that nicely.
Just enough, so still a difficult roll now. They could also just draw behind the corner if they wanted. Might also feel that it's okay to blank this end.
So I think they're looking for the roll here. Pretty good. Removes the yellow. Rolls a bit too far maybe. But very good result with a controlled weight.
Yeah, nice to keep your weight down a little bit there. Means you can hit it a little bit thinner and roll a bit deeper as they needed to. definitely needed to roll to even get into the rings. So Sayaka Yoshimura here can see almost all of this redstone. She would like to hit it enough to prevent Denmark from rolling in behind the guard after.
Could be a bit careful though. If you ever tick the guard, you might tick it into the house. But doesn't seem to be a problem here. They're just waiting for this one to curl. And it's gonna hit and roll out. Well, still a good chance for Denmark to pick up their deuce here. So wide and heavy here, not a good combination. And I think it's going to be pretty open for Sayaka to just come down here with a control weight and take it out.
Yes, nice shot there, and Denmark is now going to try to hit this and roll off, which will mean a blank end to keep the hammer in third. Once again, go for two then.
And what is the hammer, Sarah?
Last stone in the end.
An advantage, is it?
Yes. At least most teams definitely think so.
Yeah, now they're being able to score their two here. So just going to blank it and try again in the next end. Last one of the second for Stephanie Riesdahl. Looking a bit tight on the line, just sweeping this one. And it's just going to roll out, I think. So it's a blank end. And still a 2-0 score in favor of Japan. Many ends to go though.
Altså vi skal lige op på de der tider, hvis vi skal spille offensivt i hvert fald. Ja, helt sikkert. Ja. Så skal vi lige have styr på de der indlægstider, men lad os prøve de to første. De er så super på fart. Det er helt vildt. Så hjælp lige Bella med det der, og husk hinanden på fart og vende på hjemme, og Bella lidt længere her, og ikke en garde. Husk ikke så, hvad der gør det.
So a lot of communication from the Danish team here. Really making up a game plan for the third end. Keep the aggressive style going. Looks like that spot might be a little bit straighter. They've missed the center line there a couple of times.
Yeah, 3 times to be exactly. Maybe the stone's a bit straighter, or maybe just when she throws it short and you have to sweep the whole way, it just kind of straightens out a little bit. Although her very first one was deep and off the line, so or maybe just a bit too much ice. There's many possibilities, Sarah.
The whole world of possibilities.
And this corner guard from Denmark's gonna slip into the rings, and that's not good if you're chasing points, especially playing this team. They've been looking quite defensive so far in this game, and they're gonna play the hit on this red one.
There's no real reason for Japan to leave this around and guard. They are 2 points up.
No, I think most teams would hit this red one. So just a mistake on Denmark's side. And I don't think they're going to be risking it too much here. Still many ends to go, so you don't have to go all out yet.
Yeah, 10 ends, a long game. Guess playing the qualifications, the teams have been playing 10 ends, but most of the year you play 8 end games. What do you think the biggest difference is when you add the extra 2 ends?
I think, as I mentioned earlier, just if you give up a couple of points early on, you don't have to panic. You have a lot more time to get back in the game, and yeah, I think that's mostly it. And do you think we see some teams that just panic a little bit? Although, you know, you still might have 5 ends to go and you're 2 down. So just patience as a word I think is being used a lot by coaches. Do you prefer playing 10 ends or 8?
I think I prefer playing 8 ends. 10 ends is a little bit long. And it also means that you need to think about your preparations, of course. I mean, it's not that much longer, but maybe you need to think about how long the game is going to take, and you might need to eat more and rest more and just to keep focused for entire 10 ends.
Well, the good thing here is you're never going to be playing more than 2 games a day. Most teams are only playing 1 game a day, and I think some of the teams, or maybe all the teams, have 1 day off as well. So it's not that hard. I think I played 4 games in my men's spiel just last week. 8 ends, of course, but
does not make that one. The yellow will stick around. Japan will take the opportunity to once again sit 2. They'd like to force Denmark to take 1 here and get the hammer. 1 point up with hammer is normally a very comfortable situation. So no real double opportunity here, and still going aggressive. Denmark's going to try and freeze onto one of the back yellows.
well, the good thing about the freeze is if you make it, they'll probably see Japan just blast both of them and roll out. That way there's only 1 yellow left and you can pretty easily blank the end.
Yeah, definitely, and if your opponents don't manage to blast them away, then you have the chance for your 2.
Yep, so freeze is a good call here.
And because the stones are so, they're both back 12, it means that your final draw isn't for one if you would need to draw for one isn't too difficult either.
So it comes up short there, but not too bad. I don't think you'll see Japan messing around too much. We're going to remove it till you'll get another chance or two to make the freeze. Oh, well, actually jam this one, remove one of their own yellows. Now there's a guard in play. Question is though, does Stephanie want to use it? No, she's gonna call the freeze on the yellow on the right hand side of the screen as we look at it. I think she's just looking for the blank here really, and just hoping to get her lead to throw up that first corner guard in the next end. I think she wants to make sure that her team scores next.
So it looks really good for line here. Might be a little bit heavy.
Well.
We'll tap them apart. And if Japan makes this, they will once again be sitting two. Stones should be fairly close together, so there should be some sort of double available. But Japan makes a double for them. And now there's only one yellow guard in play, so important mistake there for Denmark. Can draw in behind this.
Janni Kundry, third for Denmark. With the out-turn draw. Looking pretty good here. Gonna slip a little deep. So we might see Japan freeze onto this one. But they might just be looking at their run back here.
Important run back here for Japan if they don't want to leave an open draw for Denmark. Make sure she rolls to the side to leave the shot stone open.
Yeah, bit of a strange call. I'm guessing she was just afraid of coming up too short or too heavy and allow Denmark to maybe have a chance to score three. Had more options playing the draw. Now you leave this chance for Denmark to split the rings.
Just need to hit the paint here to sit two.
Looking pretty good here. Good separation, pretty level, no double. And Japan can't really do much more than to remove one of them. Maybe you could roll towards the corner guard, try and land a shot, half buried. Make it a little more difficult for Stephanie. Sayaka Yoshimura, last stone of the third end for her. Won't get a roll, but does lie shot. So in the end, Denmark with a chance to score two.
Yep, the more aggressive style paid off for them. Japan did have a couple of mistakes this end.
Yes, felt like Denmark was looking to blank the end, but just got handed an opportunity and took it. Now they look like scoring two. Stephanie Riestad, last stone of the third end here, looking to tie things up. Doesn't sound good, this one. Is it going to roll too far? I believe it will. And it's only going to be one red for Denmark. Just chucked it out there. Didn't come back enough.
So, score after 3 ends. Japan 2, Denmark 1, and Japan will have hammer when we start the fourth. Danish girls just kind of trying to figure out the ice and their releases. And there are more games going on at the moment. Sander, can you tell us what's happening on the other sheets?
Oh, I'd love to.
No, you would.
Just next to our sheet, the Czech Republic is playing Switzerland. They picked up two in the third end, so they now lead that game 2-1 over the Swiss. Russia picked up one in the first end and then stole one in the second to lead the game 2-0 over Canada. And the game between Sweden and Scotland tied up at 2 each.
And here on our sheet is now Japan with hammer. And since Denmark is 1 point down, they will need to either force Japan to 1 or try and steal. The way to do that is to put up a center guard. See, a very good game for Mao Ishigaki, currently at 96%. Sure, it's been a little bit deep and wide on some draws, but
yeah, maybe a bit nice, the percentages.
This one isn't that much of a beauty, though. It slips a bit too deep.
Yeah, that's for sure not a 100% shot there.
Still though, since it's behind the guard, Denmark's gonna keep it around. They're gonna try and draw, would like to sit in front of the tee line, but if they miss, it's always nice to have some stones in the house. or if the miss comes later. So Charlotte Clemenson is really showing us how it's done here. Overcurls a little bit since that guard was so high. Currently at 63% after 3 ends.
Don't really have to look too much into the numbers only after 3 ends though.
No, I don't think so. So Japan think that they can reach this. They would like to get as much of it as possible with a softer weight.
So just going to clip the guard, which is not the worst for them.
No, because they clip the guard and they hang around as a corner. So not a bad option B there for Ishigaki.
Yeah, open up the center a little bit as well. But it's going to be pretty clogged up.
Comes in a bit too deep with this, and they now sit open.
Yeah, but it looks difficult to remove both the red ones without removing your own yellow. I think that yellow's going to go anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world though. If you manage to get the roll, that would be really good for Japan.
Yeah, I think try to remove one red and the yellow at the back. Try split them and get the roll. But if you go for the roll in behind the corner, you might just squeeze that red one in behind the center guard. So I think they might be looking at rolling behind that red guard close to the center themselves. That way you leave the red in the open. So does split at the back, but it rolls too far with the shooter. Red is in the open though.
Maybe they wanted to remove the reds a little bit too much there. It was actually really important to stick the shooter around. So played it maybe a little bit more weight than they could have. Mistake there, does not reach the rings, and with a couple of guards up now, Japan can try and find some cover.
Well, now we have two center guards though, which you can use. I think Japan called a hit and roll in behind the corner guard. Just going to be a nose hit. It's going to allow Denmark to play the hit and roll. Jan Gundry has had a good game so far. Made a couple of nice ones. Had a good draw on the previous end where they picked up 2. Sorry, 1. Had a chance to pick up 2.
And a really nice roll here. Finds cover behind the guards.
Yeah, super shot. Now Japan just looking to clear things up here.
Could make all 3 fly. And Rina Ida doesn't seem too happy with this throw. It's really wide.
So that's not going to help Japan too much because Denmark's just going to replace that guard. Calling this one pretty close to the house. Just got to make sure not to set up an angle here. Don't want to freeze us onto their own red. That could be disastrous. That's no good. All depending on how much space is in between those 2 reds. You might just be able to rip all 3 here, but I think you really have to hit him on the left-hand side.
Would you care to explain what happens if you hit it on the left-hand side?
Well, when 2 stones are close together, kind of the energy from the first stone is just going to drag onto the second because there's so much friction between the stones. In this scenario, you're not going to get a real big effect, but if you hit the first red one on the left-hand side, you might just see the second one drag out a little bit in the direction of that red in the house. We'll see. Can't catch it too thin. I think maybe about half rock here. It's pretty close to making them all go. But she's going to over curl a lot. She's going to hit it on the opposite side and drag it the opposite way, leaving both the center guard and the shot stone in play. An awful shot, really. Had a good chance to clear things up there.
Stephanie Riesdahl still looking to protect her shot stone. %67% for the Danish skip so far. She's been a little bit off on her hits, but this guard though is working for them really well. Japan want to open things up and allow themselves an easier score for 1 or even the blank by removing closest red guard and the redstone in the house. Yoshimura has looked pretty confident so far.
Super shot there. Very close to getting that yellow one to roll in. Just kind of ticked off the corner guard a little bit. Super shot. Opens things up, removes that shot stone, but still a couple of guards in play for Denmark, so Stephanie result. Just going to draw around it. Trying to force Japan to take the one. You never really mind giving away one when you don't have hammer, do you, Sarah?
No, you kind of always expect your opponents to be able to score one when they have hammer. So if you limit them to doing just that, then you've probably done your job pretty well.
Then you get your last stone and you can score 2 yourself. Sort of the game plan. Take 2, get away 1. Take 2 and just do that for the whole game, although it rarely works out that way.
It's a shame because both teams are actually trying to do the same thing, which can complicate stuff.
Yeah.
And this one actually overcurling, the guard being so high. Chance for Yoshimura to blank, I think. She doesn't seem too keen on that though, and would rather draw for 1.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sarah. I can probably see enough of the red one to blank here, but maybe she just wants to be sure to score here and get a 2-point lead. So last on for Japan, and Sayaka Yoshimura here in the 4th end just wants to draw and pick up 1 here. Sweepers on it. Looks to be in control though. Just needs to snag the forfeit. It's going to be a bit deep, but that's good enough for the single. And after 4 ends, Japan now in the lead, 3 shots to 1.
I am predicting a draw to the house in the corner guard. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think Denmark's gonna look to score there 2 now, maybe 3 even. Catch the lead. Been trying that for the whole game, just in that 3rd end, the corner guard slipped into the rings. Although they got the chance to score 2 in the end. Couldn't quite make it. Stephanie rolled out on that open hit. And again, lead Mao Ishigaki just not making it to the center line. Not really sure what the problem is.
Well, by now maybe Yoshimura should have taken a little bit less ice.
I think so, because she seems to be throwing them quite consistently. So maybe just tighten up the ice and you'll get there.
Yeah, that is also the spot where we have seen a couple of takeouts not really curl enough and actually rolled out, so it might be a little bit straighter, but Skips should have figured that out by now if that's the case.
Yeah, they probably practice on the sheet, and they got that 10 minutes practice before the game as well, so probably should have seen that if that's the case.
And this corner guard definitely gets the job done. Sits in front of the rings.
Yeah, far away from the center line, really close. That's good. He'll leave the outside and draw still, and if you never ever feel like running it back, it's gonna be quite short. So that's pretty much perfect right there. It's weird how she doesn't curl enough, because she releases the stone so early. You usually get more curl that way. But sits in front of her yellow. Pretty nice shot there.
Denmark want to try and use these yellow to get behind their corner with the roll.
So I was looking to roll the other way, but an okay option B.
Hangs around in the house, so Japan can't really leave it. They're going to need to remove it. Would have liked to roll in there. Now it's wide open for Denmark to go behind the corner guard, and their yellow one is it's very open.
Yeah, nice setup for Denmark now. 2 corner guards in play.
Really good line. They just need this to stick around now. We'll hang in the back. Japan going for the draw or the freeze to eliminate the red back 12 and sit 2. Need to sit for second shot, and she'll manage just that. Because it's behind the tee line, still quite a good situation for Denmark. They can just keep drawing in behind there. seems.
Yeah, calling this one a 2, and that would be a halfway guard. So I'm really short of the house this time.
So important for Japan now to take this opportunity and get one that's in front of the tee line. Of course, that's so because they don't want Denmark to be able to freeze and sit short, or second in this case.
That's a little bit deep, I think.
Yeah, maybe just one stone higher would make it more difficult for Denmark.
Yeah, because you can come pretty close to the face of it and still have a shot here. Doesn't need a big angle on it, and you really don't have to tap it that far. Just corner freeze, slight tap here to last shot. Looking very heavy here. That's going to be a solid tap.
Does sit for second shot though.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good result.
Slightly a different release from Jana Gundry. Maybe a bit less rotations. She's kind of starting the curl a little bit, I think. She gets more swing, at least on her in turn.
That means you can also tap this with an angle back 12.
Yeah, Japan just coming to the back ring weight here, trying to catch a quarter maybe of the red. No, looking to freeze here. I think they should be tapping it though, just to make sure they're lying 2. Hopefully 3, with a shooter in place as well. Looks like a tap.
Definitely does.
Very nice there. And lies 4 now. But remember, Denmark has the last stone, so no panic yet. No center guard in play. It's pretty open. 3 stones to go for the Danish side. Looking to score 2. But got to be a bit careful as well. Got to make sure to score their 1. You hate to score 1 here though, when you're 2 down.
Yeah, but giving up points at this point isn't really an option. So it's late enough in the end now that you don't want to overcomplicate things, especially when your opponent is lying 4. So want to make sure that you're able to score.
Just looking for that roll to the left. Couldn't quite get it there. It's a pretty difficult shot to start off with though. Could very easily roll too far.
Yeah, and if Japan hits this at all on the inside, it will jam. So still a little bit of pressure on Yoshimura.
Hits and rolls out But still line 3, Japan.
Ja, og alligevel ikke vel, for så løber hun bare en oveni. Jeg får ikke rigtig to på den. Nej, ja. 10. Hat på. Gør det. Hat på. 10. Nej, 10. Ja, 10. Det siger jeg også. Det lød som lige til mig.
So wants to hit and roll here. Maybe hit and sit shot with some backing.
Wow, wow. Yep, yep, wow, woo, woo, man, Pia. Aldrig.
Well, you have the option of maybe playing the double and just stick it on the yellow. If you get it too thin, that's just what's going to happen. So I think the initial call was to roll over there. But
Do you
again,
think this is even better?
nah, well, easier, maybe. If you're looking to roll over for a perfect freeze, that would have been better. But this is pretty good as well.
Yep. Japan needs to remove this without sticking it now, and if she does so, she will be sitting 2 or 3, but it'll be a pretty open draw for Denmark to score 1.
Yes. Yes. Ball. 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 Ball.
So look to come to the inside there. Good shot, good result. They're line 2. Denmark has to draw for 1 here.
Ikke mindre, vel? Sæt lige kosten.
Just not quite being able to put the stones in the right spot to get a multiple score.
Ingen pause.
Last stone of the 5th end. Stephanie Riesdahl needs to find full 8 foot to score 1. And great sweeping there to get the job done, and Denmark scores 1. Tightens the game up after 5.
Yep, and both teams will have a halftime break. See the scoreboard here. Japan with a 1-point lead, and they will have last stone when we come back for the 6th end. We'll have some highlights just before that 6th end kicks off. We'll be back in a few minutes here in the Ice Cube Curling Center in Sochi, Russia. So we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from the first 5 ends here between Denmark and Japan. It was Stephanie with the hit. Could score 2 with a treble, rolled out, gave up a steal 2, second end. This time looking to score 2, but will roll out, and it's only going to be the 1 for Denmark.
And then in the 4th end, you see Japanese skip Sayaka Yoshimura here with a draw for 1. She needs full 4-foot. And she will make it. Finally in the 5th end, Japan sitting 2 in the back of the rings. So Denmark needs full 8-foot here. And the sweepers are really working it all the way. It will be enough, and the score of 1 for Denmark, taking the game to a 3-2 lead for Japan.
And looks like we're ready for that 6th end now. Halfway through the game. Looking pretty close. I guess we'll see the same. Japan just being defensive. Now they have that 1-point lead and last stone. I think they feel quite comfy in that scenario. Just want to hit and run now. Maybe just blank the ends, but I do think we'll see some guards from Denmark being thrown.
Yeah, if Japan score 1 now, that's still a good situation, and they will absolutely love to score 2. That would leave them in good control over the game. As we see a really nice close center guard come up from Charlotte Clemensen there with her first. Mao Ishigaki playing lead for Japan. Gonna make that come around here. Important for her to sit in front of the tee line. We have seen her be a little bit deep with her first draws. This one looks quite fast as well. It'll actually slip all the way through the rings. So good opportunity for Denmark here to apply some pressure if Charlotte can draw in behind there instead. Sweepers indicating this heavy as well. And after that first perfect guard, we will just see the second Danish stone straight through the house as well.
Might be the pebble trap.
Would you care to explain the pebble trap?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think the ice makers will come on and put fresh pebble, you know, the drops of water on the ice around the hack after the 5th end, and you just kind of, first couple of sides, you just kick off and you just get more momentum at the hack. So just look out for that. The leads throwing their first few stones too heavy after the 5th end break. That tends to happen.
You shouldn't let it happen this many times in a row, though. This one will stick around, just hanging back 12 for Ishigaki.
When I played, I took a stone and I ran it back and forth like 10 times before I played my first shot. Just kind of break down the pebble.
Did it work for you?
Yep. But one time I was fooled and I was really angry. Bit of a wobble out here. for Isabella Clemenson. But looking closer here. Well, let's draw. Good weight, just couldn't quite get the line here.
No, but perfect weight from Danish second Isabella. Sits open, so Denmark would, no, Japan would probably like to hit and roll to the wing here. Nicely done, avoids the catch, does not really push it all the way out, but still sits two, and they do have hammers, so good shot by Ujihara. A very dramatic call out there from Riesdahl.
Yeah, never was the word.
She was right though, that misses wide. Japan still sitting two here, and it's their turn to play.
Not looking too happy, the Danish skip. Doesn't have last stone in this set. So you don't want to be allowing Japan to keep too many stones in the house. Can't really afford to give up a big in here.
Do not want to be deep here, do not want to allow Denmark to freeze. Sits just in front of the T-line. Good end for Ujihara. So, want to tap this back a little bit. You do want to get some protection from the center guard, so don't want to hit it, just want to tap it. Maybe actually a little too much weight. She taps it back. Would have liked to curl up a little bit more to sit hidden.
Yeah, not too bad though. It's not really easy for Japan to come to the inside here. And if you're ever high, you're going to run the red one back onto the yellows. So I think maybe they've just called the straight peel here. Again, very cautious call. Prefers to play the simple shots. This one's going to over curl and end up in a nice spot. Maybe they were trying to come to the inside.
Yeah, that was the better option. Even if they rolled out there, then Denmark could quite easily eliminate the back yellows by drawing again, and that would allow them to find a really nice position instead, so good. So pressure on the Danish girls now. Japan currently sitting 4. And they also have hammer. Really needs to find good line with this. Oh, and instead she will wreck on the guard, split them both into the rings. But still think it's Japan sitting 4, at least 3.
Sayaka's going to call down her white skip. Rina Ida. Could be wise to just talk about this call here. Could be a big end.
Så har hun det ikke, men har hun den der her sprog, så køber hun derud, og så får hun en ekstra en, hun bliver købt, fordi hun har købt ikke kun at have den på tiden, men have den kvart over, så får hun en ekstra ud i køben. Så det bliver endnu
So call is to roll in of the wide red one. Get some protection for their shot stone and remove one of the reds.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the stone to worry about.
No, the other one is the one that Denmark probably could tap up to sit for shots.
Yeah, or even come around. It's closer to her centre line. This one's not really doing much for the Danish. But she's going to roll to a pretty nice spot, I think.
Might leave a double there for Denmark though, and if they make it, they'll be behind their own red.
Yeah.
A little bit more weight than just normal. Try and catch this top yellow one quite thin and direct onto the second yellow. Not even touching this. Will it curl enough? And no, just removes one of the back ones. And rolls off herself. Japan still sitting 4. Disastrous result for Denmark there.
Yeah. This end's just slipped away from the Danish girls. And Japan just with a big chance to score here. Score big as well. Line 4, drawing to line 5. Just got to make sure not to put this one in the wrong spot.
So Yoshimura here with a chance to sit 5. Line is probably the most important here. She does not want to leave Stephanie Riesdahl the chance of the same double once more. And she'll definitely get it done. She will out count the top red. And the same double is no more available. So not really much to do now for Denmark, but to tap up their own. Play it down to the yellow shot stone. This is not a shot that you want to be playing when you don't have last stone.
They're not taking much ice, Sarah.
No, she has been a little bit wide on a couple of her takeouts. And
so this is the run back?
This is the run back.
Would you ever be tempted to just tap it up? Make sure you're at least lying shot there?
Yes, I would be tempted.
Well, let's see. Last shot for Denmark in this end. Facing plenty of yellows. Needs to stick this run back. Sounds close. It's going to make the double, but it's going to roll a bit too far. Really close to making it perfect.
Yeah, but close isn't enough, Sander, and it's going to be a nose hit for Japan to score 4. Which is absolutely huge.
I gotta say, halfway through this game, I still favour Denmark for the win. They've been calling a good game, but it's all about execution. Japan's been very cautious, but they're making their shots. And now just handed a great opportunity to kill the game off. Nose hit for the score of 4 in the 6th end to make it a 7 shots to 2 game. Pressure's on. Sayaka Yoshimura. Sweeping this one. But I think they're in control here. Nose hit, score of 4. And now the Japanese girls are really looking in control, Sarah.
They sure are, and they seem to be very, very good with their takeout game as well. So if they've been defensive before, they're definitely going to be defensive now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Denmark to chase them. Although we have 4 ends left.
4 ends, 5 points.
Sicker
Definitely
things
possible.
have happened.
I was going to ask you for examples, but I don't think I will. So we're just going to start the 7th end, and if you have just joined us, then welcome to the World Junior Curling Championships 2013, coming to you live from the Ice Cube Curling Center here in Sochi, Russia. This game is between Japan and Denmark, and here you see the Japanese lead, Mao Ishigaki. Japan currently with a 7-2 shots lead after scoring a massive 4 in the 6th end. Really in control of this game now. And it looks like they found the ice for her first shot.
Yeah, finally on the center line. After a good team scrub, makes it to the top of the 8th. What's Japan's game plan here?
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Everything that's red's gonna fly.
Charlotte Clemenson, 71% so far. Is that a decent game? Now just looking to place these redstones in front of the house. Very important now when you're chasing the game that your lead can put up the guards in the right spot. Cannot afford to bring this one into the house. And it will stop short of it.
And what's the call here?
I'm guessing they're just going to tap their own yellow a wee bit.
Yes, and as soon as we get to second players, Japan is going to start hitting. You said earlier that it's really important for the lead to place the stones in front of the house, and that is because as a lead you're not allowed to hit guards, just allowed to move them a little bit. So by placing them nicely, it will ensure that you have some stones in play. And this will slide right through. We're attempting to split, but probably not the end of the world there.
Yeah, no, results okay, just execution is a bit poor.
Yeah, you'd rather have it through the house than sitting back 12 foot for Denmark to freeze.
And might as well have brought that stone all the way out of play. Might just be a catcher at the back. Another corner guard called by Stephanie Riesdahl. And a good one with her first, Charlotte Clemenson. Drawing the opposite side. Want to keep him level. And that's another Butte from the Danish lead.
Butte, did you learn that from the Scottish girls yesterday?
Maybe.
It's a good word.
Yep. I'm guessing it's short for beauty.
That's how I would use it.
We had Scotland play Canada yesterday. Saw a couple of good shows there. And now in our feature game here, it's Denmark looking for those beauties. Needs to come back in the game. 5 down on Japan.
And no mistake from Ujihara. She peels up the corner guard and rolls off herself. So as we see this repeat itself a couple of times, Sabella Clemenson gonna put up the corner guard and Japan is gonna clear them away elsewhere in the Ice Cube Curling Centre. Sweden is playing Scotland. Scotland stole 2 in the 6th end to get a 6-3 lead. Russia took 3 in the 6th end against Canada. They are now leading the game 5 shots to 2. And the close game between Czech Republic and Switzerland. Score there is 2 each. And Czech Republic have last stone in the 7th. So mistake there from Ujihara. She knows it's the corner guard. So now 2 guards in play for Denmark. Should be about time to start using them.
Couldn't quite drag that one past the guard.
Sits shot but open. So Japan's gonna make a play on it. Good game for Rina Ida, currently at 83%. Gets the hit and gets the roll. Would you ever be tempted to just peel that and roll off?
Yeah, leaving yellows around just going to create more problems for you. If Denmark ever comes up, puts the stone on the top of the 8, maybe half buried, it's going to be hard to remove it without jamming it. So, yeah, I think you have enough points. And, with a 5-point lead, don't really need to stick around. Just make sure the right ones go. But this one's not going to stop on the top of the 8. Looking really heavy. And it's going to slip all the way through the house, I believe. Not a very good shot. Better off being short there, if anything.
Yeah, you definitely want to leave yourself stones that you can use.
Some interesting calls being made.
And they will go for a tap up. Still leaving the corner guards in play.
Yeah, I think I'd rather peel off the red corner guard here. If you're going to make a play here, don't really want to set up a double. It'd be better to throw the guard to make it more difficult for Denmark that way. Obviously, they don't have a good shot, so be better off just to peel in the corner, but we'll see.
Sitting 3 now instead, but a good opportunity for Denmark to hit and roll. Won't manage the roll. It's a nose hit. So Japanese girls now trying to decide if they want to roll out or in. First stone here in the 7th end for Sayaka Yoshimura. She's made a couple of really nice shots so far in the game.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, even gets a small roll there. It's looking a bit tricky for Denmark.
Yeah, 2 zones left here, and they got to score 2.
ikke til at ligge af det. Hvad er det ellers? Ja. Hvad har hun ellers vist? Hun viser ikke noget.
She rolls too far with that. Japan sitting 2. And they're not gonna bother with that red stone on the wing. There's no real chance for Denmark to score 2 here, so they're just gonna guard their shot stone and even hope for a steal here. Just looking for a guard here with the last shot. Sayaka Yoshimura for Japan. Biter on the 12-foot.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect right there, actually. Makes it, I think, too difficult to play the hit on the shot stone, and just makes the out-turn draw a bit more snug. Perfect spot.
Indlægget, hvis jeg først er forbi her, så er den i. Og jeg tror, det er et sindssygt kald. Hvad, tror du ikke det? Der er slet ikke råd til at give den 3. Nej.
I think there's only one call here, really.
Draw the button.
Yep. Stephanie thinks might be too snug to come through the port of the corner and the top yellow, but it certainly is there.
Yeah, I don't think it's too tight. Corner's very close to the house.
No, she's called it. Not a very good sign, though. You know, a confident skip would just tap the button and go, go straight to the hack, play the draw. Hasn't made a ton of shots in this game, so just maybe not feeling too confident about the draw. She's played a lot of hits as well. So, tough shot here left for Stephanie Riesdahl. Needs to catch a piece of the 1 foot to stay in the game. Last stone of the 7th end, you're 5 down. Can't afford to give up any more points here.
And line is really good, but it's gonna slip too far, and steal of 1 for Japan. It's not a happy skip we're looking at right now. Score after 7 ends. Japan 8 and Denmark 2.
Altså efter vores, hvad vi snakker om i morges, så skal vi ikke blive ved med. Jamen, en forfærdelig. Tak.
And handshakes. Japan won the game over Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark feeling that they're not going to be able to get their 6 points here in 3 ends. Obviously going to be tough. Japan's a very good defensive team. And all in all, I think Japan just played more shots. Denmark called a good game, but just couldn't execute. And let us just update you on the other games so far here in the arena. We had Czech Republic playing Switzerland. It's the Czechs with the last stone. They're 2 down, 4 shots to 2 lead for the Swiss. And Russia play Canada. It was Canada just picking up a single point in the 7th end. Russia leads the game 5 shots to 3 with last stone in 8th. Over on the sheet between Sweden and Scotland, I think they've called for a measure, but right now it's a 6 shots to 3 lead for Scotland. Sweden had last stone in the 7th.
I think they scored 1 for sure, and now they're measuring to see whose second shot.
We see the scoreboard here though between our feature game, Denmark and Japan. It was a close game until Japan got that 4 in the 6th, and Denmark just went full out to try and come back, but wasn't able to. So they shake hands after 7, and they'll just have to regroup for their next game. Japan still undefeated at 3 wins. So that's it for us.
Our next game will be tonight at 7 o'clock local time here in Sochi. It'll be Canada versus the Czech Republic in the men's draw, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a good one.
Yep, so that's it for us here at the World Junior Curling Championships 2013, Sochi, Russia. My name is Sander Olvog, and I'm joined by the lovely Sarah Carlson for the next draw.
Thank you, Sander. I'm looking forward to it. And also, of course, if you hang on for a minute or two, there will be some highlights from the game that we just featured, Denmark versus Japan. And here we go with the highlight.
Yep.
First end,
Yep.
Denmark
Yep.
having a triple to score 2, but she will roll out, and instead it's a steal of 2 for Japan.
Yeah, second end is blanked in the 3rd. Freestyle with a open it to score 2, just hangs high. It's going to roll out here. It's only going to be the single for Denmark.
Fourth end, this is a draw. Japan needs the forfeit to score 1. And just keeping it clean, it will stop just behind the T-line, and score of 1 for Japan.
Fifth end, Denmark with last stone, Stephanie Riesdahl with the enter and draw here. Looking to score 1 with some help from the sweepers. Drags it down, and they get their single. After the halftime break, things got a bit messy for the Danish, and Japanese skip Sayaka Yoshimura has an open hit to score 4 and makes it look easy.
finally here in the 7th end. Denmark needs the pin to score one. They're down by 5 points. And waits just a little bit up here. It'll be another steal for Japan. Handshakes, and Japan wins this game 8 shots to 2. And as we said, we will be back at 7 o'clock local time here in Sochi. Next game, Canada versus Czech Republic in the men's draw. You don't want to miss that, so see you tonight.
Klockan 6, 2 timmar.